We refuse any more public safety working groups with fallacious claims of addressing systemic racism and policing while only serving to further delay and deny the inherent violence of policing that endangers lives on and off our campuses.
As a collective, every Friday we stand outside and ask students what safety looks like to them, and they say it looks like housing security, job security, more faculty and staff who look like them, more mental health services, and a cost of living adjustment for graduate student workers. It never looks like the police.
We refuse the extension of police power on our campus, especially during mental health crises. We refuse the idea that any version of policing is kind or is more community-centered. And we accept the idea that all policing is violent towards all.
We're refusing the whole idea of a neoliberal capitalist administration and board of trustees governing our university because we know their goals will always be preservation of profit and exploitation over community wellness.
We stand in solidarity with organizers across the peninsula who continue to struggle for our collective liberation.
We invite you to join us in withholding your labor from the university to show them that we will settle for nothing less.
Members of Defund UIPD demand cops off campus because we believe investing in care, not cops, makes communities safer. We demand the reallocation of funds from UIPD into more resources for students, like housing, food, mental health, as well as a transformative justice center, because preventing crime happens when people are invested in.
Care Not Cops demands cops off campus because we know that money that is being used for policing could actually support students and communities of color by creating anti-oppressive, student and community-led, fully funded cultural centers and an ethnic studies department on our campus.
We are refusing to go to class and to school on this May Day because we want cops off campus and we want investment in resources for students, for faculty, for courses, and for mental health professionals. We want investment in our students. That's why we want cops off campus.
We at USC Abolition are refusing the University of Southern California's Community Advisory Board because it co-opts the momentum of abolition as a means to rehabilitate the tarnished public image of the university's Department of Public Safety. We refuse to accept reforms and demand abolition now.
And we demand cops off campus and the creation of radical, life-affirming institutions and places like People's Park.
Decriminalize UW demands cops off campus because now is the time to take unprecedented steps towards reimagining community safety in ways that actually address racial justice and that break with the long colonial history of the public university, the city of Seattle, and the state as forces of violence and appropriation against Native peoples.
Together, we refuse the meritocratic logic that Yale University invokes to justify its hoarding of wealth and resources.
We refuse the military armament of Yale's private police force in the name of our safety.
We refuse the fortified borders of the university that make New Haven unsafe for New Haveners.
The Abolition Committee of the Graduate Employee Organization at UMass Amherst demands cops off campus because we want to reimagine what safety looks like.
We are participating in the May 3rd Day of Refusal because we are refusing the exploitation of graduate student workers at UMass Amherst.
We're refusing the UMass Amherst Chancellor's half-hearted response to racial justice coalition demands.
We're refusing the over-resourcing of the UMass Amherst Police Department and the university's silence on this issue.
The GEO Abolition Committee demands that UMass Amherst defund the UMPD and reallocate its $6 million budget toward community services.
We demand that UMass Amherst sever its ties with police unions and the prison industrial complex.
We're participating in the May 3rd Day of Refusal to stop all work because abolition must happen now.
Refusal also means just say no to task forces. No to reform, no to police.
We refuse continued police violence. We refuse that there are no alternatives.
We are refusing to work because Stanford continues to publicly issue platitudes about supporting racial justice while refusing to listen to the experiences and input of its own community members.
Policing cannot be reformed away.
We demand cops off campus.
And cops off Earth.
Starting here.
Starting today.
We are refusing work on May 3rd, which means no classes,
No DEI work,
no task forces,
no meetings,
no webinars,
and no policing graduate student workers and undergraduates who stand in solidarity.
UCSB FTP demands cops off campus.
Because we're anti-racist.
And that means that we believe in a world where all our students can be in a better, safe environment.
Where they can live, learn, and thrive.
Join us on May 3rd.
We demand cops off campus because we know that as long as we're relying on policing to surveil and suppress our neighbors, we can never build communities of care, love, mutual respect, and support that we actually need to create safety and wellness.
Defund UIPD at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign demands cops off campus and out of our communities, along with the redistribution of the over $8 million budget of UIPD. Because we understand that true safety is rooted in care, meeting the material needs of people, and eliminating any social, economic, political, and environmental barriers that are preventing us from truly thriving.
We demand the immediate disarmament of the Yale Police Department.
We demand that Yale implements a differential response system devoid of police officers.
We demand that Yale reinvest these funds in New Haven organizations that uplift Black and Brown communities.
We demand that the university makes these changes immediately.
USC Abolition demands cops off campus because we want to create abolitionist alternatives to the police and public safety in Los Angeles.
Abolish Stanford's demands have been clear from day one. First, we demand Stanford to stop its effective subsidization of a private police force. The Memorandum of Understanding that deputizes SUDPS officers must be terminated.
Police Free Penn demands that cops get out of mental health because Walter Wallace Jr. should be alive today. The enforcers of settler colonial genocide will not keep us safe.
Police Free Penn demands cops off campus and that Penn reinvests the exorbitant police budget into building community on and off campus in a horizontal fashion that recognizes community resilience and efficacy and ceases to criminalize Blackness, poverty, and other forms of marginality.
With a budget of $27 million, over 120 police officers, and the largest standing private police force in the state, we demand that Penn redirect funds from its police department into routinely understaffed and underfunded mental health services on campus and end the involvement of police in mental health services.
Abolition is not a compromise. Either you preserve the police or you oppose them.
Period.
Cops off campus.
Cops off campus.
I'm from UCLA's Cops Off Campus, and I'm joining my comrades to demand cops off campus and abolition now.
My name is Sarah Haley. From the homelands of the Tongva people, Los Angeles, I join the fight for cops off all campuses. Abolition now.
My name is C. Riley Snorton, faculty at the University of Chicago, and I support the fight for cops off campus and abolition now.
My name is Shauna Redmond. From this place on Tongva land, I announce my full and complete support for cops off campus and abolition everywhere.
From the Southern California Inland Empire and UC Riverside, I'm proud to be part of the fight to abolish police presence at all our campuses.
From UC Berkeley, I support abolition now.
From the University of Toronto, I support the fight for cops off campus and abolition now.
From Rutgers, New Brunswick, I join the fight for cops off every campus. Abolition now.